ShotokuTech, Saturday Story Time. These are the stories that you might have missed while you were caught up in other stories. You're watching ShotokuTech Saturday Story Time, 11 July 2020 edition. Hey, welcome back to ShotokuTech Saturday Story Time. So, scientists in the UK think that they've found a cheap, low-tech way to help fight age-related loss of vision. Certain frequencies of red light boosted people's eyesight in a new study. Basically, this is a longer wavelengths of light, this deep red color on into infrared light, power mitochondria to heal wounds and reduce inflammation and pain, even regrow hair, depending on where the light is applied. There's mitochondria in every type of cell, and they're especially abundant in the retina. And of course, as we age, our retina deteriorates. And so this red light is stimulating the retina to hold on and fight age-related decline. They actually tested this and found that it worked with mice, bees, and flies. The red light could improve the performance of the retina in all three, and their study is published in the journals of gerontology. Okay, so this is a deep story here. The corona of supermassive black holes may be the hidden source of mysterious cosmic neutrinos seen on Earth. So, first of all, let's talk about what neutrinos are. They're subatomic particles so tiny that their mass is nearly zero, and they rarely interact with other matter. Now, high-energy cosmic neutrinos are created by energetic cosmic ray accelerators in the universe, which may be extreme astrophysical objects such as black holes or neutron stars. They may be accompanied by other electromagnetic waves and gamma rays at lower energies, and even sometimes gravitational waves. But this interesting, it's called Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory, and the detector is buried deep in the Antarctic ice. And they're perplexed by the observation of neutrinos at this Antarctic observatory. And they especially find that at this particular instance, they're not accompanied by these other wavelengths that they would expect to see. We know that sources of high-energy neutrinos must also create gamma rays. So the question is, where are these missing gamma rays? See, so they're not seeing the gamma rays and they're getting these neutrino rays. So their theory is supermassive black hole systems are the source of these neutrinos. So Vanilla Ice was going to have this concert on July 4th in Texas. And you have to admire the guy's spunk. I can't wait to get back to this. We didn't have the coronavirus in the 90s, or cell phones, or computers. We had 5-0s, Blockbusters, Beavis and Butthead, Wayne's World, Chris Tucker, and Jackie Chan. And Mortal Kombat still better than Fortnite. But we got out of the house too, and we danced. We invented house parties in the 90s. So you got to admire the guy's spunk. But then the following day, they said, due to the increase of COVID-19 numbers in Austin, we're going to move the concert to a better date. So the moral of the story is, Vanilla Ice has been in the news for 2 days in a row for the first time since the 90s. Thanks, Ice. So here's another stellar puzzle. Betelgeuse is dimmed. Could it be a star spot? During the 6-month period from October to April, the massive bright star Betelgeuse in the constellation Orion the Hunter has dropped its brightness by 40%, and astronomers have been perplexed. They thought maybe some gas or dust had passed in front of it. Now, another theory is maybe it's large dark spots on the surface of Betelgeuse that have rotated around to the side that's facing us. Betelgeuse already is known to vary its brightness. And it's a really big star. It's so big that if we had it in our solar system, it would actually swallow up Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. That's how big it is. So this star spot would have to cover 50 to 70% of the visible surface of Betelgeuse in order to cause the amount of dimming that's being observed. So this is a really complex and truly gigantic situation developing here. Okay, so I have to sneak cute animal stories into ShotokuTech Saturday story time, and I don't think you mind. But this rule of thumb that 1 year for dogs is equivalent to 7 years of humans has been scientifically disproven. Basically, a 1-year-old dog is more like a 30-year-old human, and a 12-year-old dog might be the equivalent of a 70-year-old human. So basically, these scientists have been examining the genetics, the actual DNA, and the development of these dogs as they age. Ultimately, 1 dog year isn't equal to 7 human years. In fact, in order to calculate your dog's human age equivalent, you'd need a calculator. Okay, so another animal story. You know who can blame me. Bruno the Bear makes it to Missouri on his interstate trek. This bear started out in Wisconsin, crossed into Illinois, and is made it to Missouri now. He even has his own Facebook group, so you can sign up for this Facebook group to help keep tabs on Bruno the Bear. Okay, so we could begin mining on the moon as early as 2025. NASA, using their miniature radio frequency instrument aboard the Lunar Reconnaissance orbiter, finds that the lunar subsurface contains a higher concentration of certain metals such as iron and titanium, much more than originally estimated. There's this theory that the satellite was formed when a Mars-sized object collided with the Earth, vaporizing large portions of the Earth's upper crust. By improving our understanding of how much metal on the moon's subsurface actually has, scientists can constrain the ambiguities about how it was formed, how it is evolving, and how it is contributing to maintaining habitability on Earth. The evidence was discovered while scientists were looking for ice at the bottom of craters in the lunar North Pole region. It means that fine dust found at the base of those holes are parts of deeper layers of the moon ejected during meteor impacts. As such, this dust represents the composition in deeper moon layers. Okay, so there's a new Kickstarter for this Eau de Space. It's a fragrance that smells like space. Now, I grew up during the Apollo era when man flew to the moon, and I always thought space would smell like 3 guys sitting on a couch. So this scent was initially developed to help train astronauts and eliminate any surprises they might experience while launching into orbit. Several astronauts have described the smell as being similar to seared steak, raspberries, and metal. This one space shuttle pilot said, "The smell was strong and unique, nothing like you had ever smelled on Earth before. Some kind of mixture of metallic things. And I just don't know how to describe it. I just don't know if it's going to help you get a date or not." So this odd pink snow in the Alps is pretty, but it might be a red flag. Pink snow, also called watermelon snow, has appeared at northern Italy's Presegna Glacier, according to Baggio Di Maro of the Institute of Polar Sciences at Italy's National Research Council. It's not uncommon for Italian Alps to be pretty and pink in the spring and summer, but scientists become cautious when the phenomenon, which is caused by algae, starts to happen more frequently. More algae could lead to faster melting ice. He says the algae's relationship with climate change hasn't been proven yet. I'm a sci-fi buff, so I hope you appreciate the heads up. Anyway, Netflix has this new space drama series called Away, and it's going to premiere on September 4th, and it looks like it's going to be about the crew's journey into space as it intensifies their personal dynamics and the effects of being away from their loved ones back on Earth. So it sounds like it'll be an interesting humanistic drama. So I look forward to that. Okay, so I want to get a shout out to all those white dwarfs out there in the universe. Thanks for the carbon. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here at all. New analysis of white dwarf stars supports their role as the key source of carbon, an element crucial to all life in the Milky Way and other galaxies. So they've been studying all these various stars, and they say that 90% of all stars end their lives as white dwarfs, very dense stellar remnants that gradually cool and dim over billions of years, and in their final few breaths before collapse, they leave an important legacy, spreading their ashes into surrounding space through stellar winds enriched with chemical elements including carbon. Every carbon atom in the universe was created by stars through the fusion of 3 helium nuclei. but astrophysicists still debate which types of stars are the primary source of carbon. So these observations made at the Keck Observatory in Hawaii have really firmed up this relationship between the initial mass of a star and the final mass of a star as it becomes a white dwarf. In the last phases of their lives, stars twice as massive as our sun produced new carbon atoms in their hot interiors, transported them to the surface, and finally spread them into the interstellar medium through gentle stellar winds. The team's detailed stellar models indicate that the stripping of the carbon-rich outer mantle occurred slowly enough to allow central cores of these stars, the future white dwarfs, to grow appreciably in mass. This German engineering company, Festo, has created these robotic birds capable of amazingly realistic flight. There's no real practical business application, but they sure look cool. They each weigh 42 grams, and they have a battery that weighs 6 grams that allows them to fly for up to 7 minutes. The flights are limited to an enclosed area dotted with GPS transponders, and there's this intelligent networking that allows them to fly in a coordinated manner in this enclosed space. Okay, so that's it for this week's ShotokuTech Saturday Storytime. Look for the link down below to this blogspot post that has all the links to the stories we just went over, because I know you're going to want to follow up on some of them. And stay tuned for next week. Thanks again. Thank you for watching ShotokuTech Saturday Storytime. Thank you for watching ShotokuTech. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share.